This episode is all about introducing our team and having a conversation about the state of the horse industry as it currently stands, because it's really reaching a tipping point in the public eye. And it is a major contributing factor behind our entire business model and the types of horse professionals that we want to help. I'm Cerise Burnson.
Christiana Witt here.
Leah Hillsberg.
And we are the team behind Horse Biz Automated. So today, really, I'd just love to start talking about where the industry is. We happen to be releasing a lot of our own personal marketing efforts at the same time as the summer 2024 Olympics. Leading up to it, there have been, over the last year, a lot of public events that have drawn a ton of attention to the state of, kind of disarray and abuse and, all of the things that the horse industry has kept in the closet for so long, and that we stand against and that all of our clients stand against. So let's just talk about kind of the things that we're seeing in the public eye, from the public perspective. I remember back in April, I had a conversation with one of our clients about what I expected to see leading up to the Summer Olympics, because there were a lot of campaigns, talking about making welfare for the horse industry in the forefront. And purely coincidentally, events have really rocked the industry and put that at the forefront of everything surrounding the equestrian sports at the Olympics. And the social media feeds are flooded with it. And we're seeing more and more people speaking out against, abusive, or at the very best, benignly accidentally abusive, but at the worst, fully abusive, right?
Yeah, and the conversation goes further even to from like there's a spectrum, right? We see the major abuse, the blood, the whips, the whipping, whatever. But I think the conversation is now going also more subtle about, does the horse consent to working with us? Is the horse in a learned state of learned helplessness when it works with us? How do we, unfreeze the mechanical conditioned horse? So we're seeing this, and that's what the public sees. But the discussions are actually getting a lot more subtle towards the direction of a sovereign horse, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see the non-horse people versus the horse people, because the non-horse people are talking about the really obvious, the blood, the whips, the spurs, all that. But the horse people are actually really diving into these deeper conversations. And I think those are, I wish the non-horse people could also be a part of those conversations to kind of understand the depth of the horse world. Because that's been interesting too, watching like the actual just regular public react to what's happened versus the horse community and how they're handling it as well.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Right.
It's interesting on that point, Leah. Having conversations with non-horse people about what we do at Horse Biz Automated and how we help horse first ethical horse trainers to market and improve their businesses so that they can have a bigger impact on the industry. And these conversations go to the fact that, well, is there really a need for that? Why would there need to be people promoting those types of business owners? Aren't all horse trainers, treating their horses well? Isn't the entire industry treating their horses well? And, it's really kind of scary that the public doesn't know, but as activist groups get more outspoken and as, the spotlight shines on us, the more the public knows, the bigger risk there is to the industry. And, the time has never been more crucial for horse first, business owners to get out there and be very vocal about not not even speaking out, but speaking up about what they do and shining a light on the good work, the good,
Mhm.
practices and the shift in education that is available to the public.
Mhm.
Right. Right. So, and the horse pros listening to this might say, well, I don't really care about the non-horse people, right? But there
Mhm,
are none yet horse people,
mhm.
right? They influence their partners who are horse people, their children who are not yet horse people. So it matters a lot what the non-horsey public says, because if I go to a dinner and I say I'm into horses, I just came back for my daughter's wedding. And when I said, we have horses at home, like, oh, wow, all these 20 some or 30 some year old people, like, oh, cool, cool, you're a horse person. If they started to feel like, ugh, that's not the thing that, oh, horse people, this is like dog fights, then these conversations aren't going to happen anymore and new people won't enter the field, and that's going to kill the market really fast.
Exactly.
So we do need to look at public perception. At the same time, the people we actually work with and advocate for are mostly already working with people who have horses, who are interested in horses, and are more having these subtle discussions around horse welfare,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
right?
And now more than ever, the people that are out there that don't have access to, science-based, ethical, welfare-based, practitioners are seeking it desperately and
Hmm.
don't know where to look. And without, the professionals that are practicing in the industry that way, speaking up, making sure that, they stand out from the sea of uh, at, at best traditional practices, at worst abusive and coercive practices. um, Nobody's going to know where they are, and they will not be able to have the impact on so many more horses lives, so many more horse owners who are desperate for them.
Well, we're also talking about horses cost more and more money.
Hmm.
Hay is more expensive, the shoer is more expensive, the boarding is more expensive. And so I'm a hobby horse person. The bills are piling up. My vet all of a sudden cost twice as much as 2 years ago. And there's this bad publicity. And I don't feel like I have an option the other way. What am I going to do? I'm going to quit. I'm going to go and put my horse out in the lawn or worse.
Hmm.
And I'm done with the sport or
Hmm.
the hobby. Right. So
Yep.
we're not only seeing people not entering because of bad publicity, we're also seeing more and more people exiting where bad publicity and a lack of easy to find alternatives will make a lot of people, especially as they age,
Hmm.
stop consuming, so to say, equine services. So
But
even if they don't sell their horse, right, they
yeah,
they don't contribute to the industry anymore.
I was gonna say that they kind of feel like they have two choices, and um, I think it's interesting with everything that's happening. That I mean, of course, there's a lot of people who are blaming the riders of these horses that when these trainers are doing abusive things to them and they're really attacking them. But I think that that's something to look at because these amateurs feel like they either have to quit the industry because they can't find somebody who or they don't know, right? They're like they don't know there's a better way. You can't blame them for not knowing. Or they feel like so they don't want to quit, right? They either quit because they have nowhere else to go or they feel like they don't want to quit and it's okay, this happens to my horse once a month. I have nowhere else to go. I'm going to stay here because I have no other option. And so
Mhm.
then, they love the sport, they love their horse, but they kind of just endure this, these abusive training methods because they feel like there's nowhere else to go. They feel like they can't speak up. I've definitely been in a position where I feel like I can't speak up to a trainer. I think everybody in this industry
Mhm.
has been, and if you say you haven't, you're lying. Okay,
Mhm.
it's intimidating. It's scary. You feel like
Mhm.
you can't
Mhm.
do it. So I think that in all of this, that's been something that I've really started to like think about a lot is the trainer amateur relationship and how toxic and dangerous that can be, and how much people are attacking the amateurs for not doing better. And, that's, yes, they should be doing better by their horse. Yes, they should know that is abusive, but they feel like there's nowhere else to go. Like
Mhm.
there's nowhere else to turn. And what are they going to do? Sell their horse that they love so much and that they love to ride and they love the sport and quit? Like, because that's their only choice. That's,
Yeah,
You
they
bring
feel very stuck.
Yeah, you bring up a great point too, because so it's not just the trainer. So let's say you have a horse that you get a sense like it's stuck somewhere or is just a little off, but the trainer says, no, it's okay, it's good, because the trainer feels like the money is in the shows, etc. You don't hire the right chiropractor, the right osteopath, you don't double check on the feet, you don't get x-rays, you don't do this. There's all they don't You don't get a new saddle fit, right? There's all these other things, because we're not just helping trainers, we're helping all
Oh,
horse first
everyone.
equine
Yeah.
suppliers, so to say. So all of that goes away because that person stays with just get on with it.
mhm,
Yep.
mhm. And it's interesting. I was actually having this conversation last night with my husband, who is a professional in the industry. He is a hoof care professional, and we were talking about um, the interplay between the professionals and their clients, and also the amount of pressure that all of these professionals are under to produce results, and there's not
Mhm.
enough of an open and um, compassionate conversation being had. Everybody is defensive around the choices they're making, and they're making them because they're under extreme pressure, and defensive because they don't know how to do better in some cases. Hell, even the professionals don't know how to do better, and it eats at them, a lot of them.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
want to do better, but if they slow down, if they take the time that is actually required to do right, to treat horses ethically, they feel like they're going to lose money. Their ability to survive in the industry is jeopardized.
Hmm.
Therefore, there's this toxic interaction because we're not having safe conversations.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
we see that on social media too, like just the
exactly.
toxicity that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
The key word I think that you said there is compassion, and that's
Hmm.
like I think the abusive stuff saddens me definitely the most about seeing some of these, like people who you hold to the really high standard and then shit comes out that that's obviously very sad. But I think what's almost equally as sad is how people are reacting and how uncompassionate, unkind, they're just attacking people on the internet. And that I find very difficult to like read to even go on social media, because it's like I can't there needs to be a change, but sitting there and like completely slamming somebody on a Facebook comment isn't how you make that change. Like we make the change in the judging, we make the change in like we don't reward the roller and all that stuff. We don't reward the lame horses. We start to make the changes from the inside, not from just jabbing each
Viciousness.
other
Yeah.
on the
Hmm.
outside. Yeah,
So I'm gonna go and like offer though an alternative, which is where we're coming in,
exactly.
right? Empowering the heart-centered professional from the inside and from the outside, becoming more confident, becoming a better marketer, becoming a better business owner, having better systems that make life easy. Now you can actually have more of a professional status, one that you feel like from the inside, you feel really professional and you look professional, because it's never, well, don't think, from what I've seen from all of our clients, the actual intervention is never a question. Whether it's the massage or the shoeing or the saddle fitting or the training, whatever, that's all good. It's, does your website look professional? Do you cater and serve people professionally via emails and communication and billing and, you know, and then also, what about you? Are you willing to take a stand? Are you willing to create a powerful brand? Are you willing to speak up and have an opinion? And how are you feeling that you can be an important part of this change? Because if you don't, and you hide behind some wall because you're a little shy and you would rather just ride another horse, I'm not saying you're contributing, that's harsh and mean,
Yeah,
but you're not also adding to the solution.
exactly. Yeah,
And
you're keeping it in your bubble, and that sucks for all of us who don't want it in your bubble anymore.
We want you to like
We want it to come to the
go,
world.
yeah, give more clinics,
Yeah,
use online training methods, like use technology. Go get modern, become a business owner, become an entrepreneur. And if more of you do that, then you feel together you have a more professional status, and all of a sudden the fancy pants or the shiny boots, however beautiful they are, don't like think there's a sense like, well, it's just me in the muck and in the dirt and doing the things right by the horse, and look at them with all of your shiny paraphernalia. Well, your website can shine, your
I
social
can
media
guarantee
presence
you,
can shine.
as a consumer, I would much prefer that it is easy for me to sign up for your clinics. It's easy. I can pay on auto pay. You automatically send me an invoice. That I will take any day over a brand new pair of my trainer wearing a brand new pair of Kingsville boots. I don't care about that. I want you to be on time. I want to be able to pay you
Yeah,
easily. Yeah, those
you want to be
things.
able to book
I want to be
appointments.
updated. Exactly.
Right,
I don't want
like,
to text 85 times back and forth on
there
when
we
my
go.
lesson can be on Saturday. Like, I want
Which
it to
I'm
be
just doing
easy.
with my vet, which is a
Yes.
pain in the
A
butt,
pain in the butt, a pain
It
in the butt.
feels really
Yeah,
unprofessional. It's like, oh, do you have Wednesday at 7? They're like, what the? Give me a calendar,
just give me
you
a
know?
calendar. Yeah, yeah,
So, so there are ways that the horse first group, let's say, can elevate their own status and their credibility in the industry as an alternative if in effect they show up professionally
right.
on the outside and on the inside.
And on the inside is an excellent point, because having these systems in place, having this level of organization and professionalism is an act of self-care and care for your clients, care for the horses, because it gives you the mental and emotional bandwidth to have a bigger impact on all of them, to stand firmly in your mission to do right by the horses, and also gives you the ability to speak confidently to the public about the difference that you yourself make, and how there are alternatives to these practices that are outdated and abusive and detrimental to the entire industry. So I think it's safe to say that while the industry is in the spotlight for all of these, atrocious methods of handling horses and working with horses, and the more subtle things that we know within our community, um, the opportunity to do better, to have better conversations, to put yourself out there as an ethical, welfare based professional, whatever the services you offer, has never been better
Mm-mm.
for the people that have the courage and the motivation to do so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
strike
like
while
I
the
always,
iron is hot because it's hot, and everybody, people are like, "Holy crap! There's got to be that's not good. There's got to be a different way. Be the way. Like,
yeah,
be there, right in
right,
front of their
and
face,
be
so that they
findable,
know. Yes,
right,
be findable. They shouldn't have. You shouldn't be on the 85th Google search page. You shouldn't be have no Facebook profile. Like all this
right.
you're not findable right now, and that's half your battle. You're trying to push a boulder up a hill because no one can find you. Where
Yeah,
are the
I'm
comments?
always telling this story. Like, I lived in LA for so long, and so around Los Angeles, there's 35, 40 barns, and ever so often the itch. You got to scratch the itch and look, what else is available, what barn, what trainer, whatever. And let's assume you do this, and you go, horse trainer within 20 miles of LA, whatever. That would work, but something like this. And you get a long list, and you click on each. And like, this one is, as usual, the Spurs, the this, the that, okay, check. This one, you go down, and all of a sudden you come across a page that looks inviting, where you feel heard and seen and respected for the desires that you have for your horse. Just imagine. And it looks beautiful and it's soft and it just speaks to your values. And now this person also took time to explain how they do things and what you can expect when you contact them and how there are various ways to contact them. And you might even get a taster or a freebie or whatever it is. So you get, you can interact with that person. Just imagine all of a sudden all these others with look at me and my blue ribbons are nothing compared to that site where you go like, oh, I found home.
Mhm. You know, it's about building from the first interaction, and that's before they even have a conversation with you. It's about building a sense of community, a sense of trust,
Mhm.
and establishing that you are the safe place that can be their home, that can be the home for their horse, and that they are not alone.
Yet they're in a like-minded community because we talk about this a lot that it's less now than it used to be years and years and years ago. But when I started this, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, I was alone in my barn. I was the only one who interacted with the horse as a horse.
Mhm.
Everybody else came, groomed, climbed on, climbed off, put them away. And I would be like, what are you doing there? Those questions today you don't have quite as much, I hope, anymore, depending on what the culture of the barn is. But you still feel a bit like an outsider. Imagine your side and your presence and your message is like this welcoming oasis where they feel like you said, Cerise, like, my peeps. Those are my people. And we see this when we teach courses, etc. Our participants immediately bond because they
Yeah.
have all of this in
Mhm.
common, right? They go from small talk to profound conversations within minutes. And that's the same when you're a consumer, when your end consumer finds their people, there is a sense of they find they're heard,
Mhm.
and they fit in, and you don't have to fake it anymore or find excuses why you're not riding or why you're getting off or why this or all these things that we had to make up in order to still fit into the culture of the barn.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So at Horse Biz Automated, our mission is that we champion the professionals who love the horse above the sport. And that is going to be the biggest call to action for our industry that has, the wave is coming, and really we just want everybody out there that is a welfare first horse business owner, an ethical horse business owner, that yeah, their business can be profitable, it can be ethical, and give them the time, freedom, and mental space to show up and have the impact that they want to have and do good work and make a massive difference, even in their own small little way in their community, and the industry as a whole. The time has never been better for them to step up and shine. And that's why we're here, and that's why we'll keep putting information out through our podcast and through our social free Facebook group, with free trainings, because whether or not somebody chooses to work with us, we want the industry to change, and
Yes.
we want to make sure that education is out there for anybody that wants to do so.
Yeah. Yeah. And a big mission that we have is that we shift the business model,
Mhm.
right? I mean, Leah, Cerise, we've all been pros. We've all learned a dysfunctional model from a pro before us. Work harder, take in more horses, shoe more horses, treat more horses. That's kind of the only model we ever saw. Um, and we have studied other industries and models and successful models from other industries that can actually modernize the way you're thinking about your model. You don't need to compete in order to be successful. You don't need to be sponsored in order to be successful. There's so many ways that you can actually make good money that other industries have long utilized. We just hasn't really come to our industry. And so you might think like, well, okay, if I want to have a bigger impact, I have to work even more. That is actually not true. As a matter of fact, you limit yourself to one or two more horses because ultimately the day only has 24 hours, right? And we hear from our clients they're always maxed out. So we also want to innovate the way horse professionals can make money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if anybody is looking for more information on, how to change the way you run your horse business so that you can make that impact that we're talking about, you can find us on the internet at horsebizautomated.com, biz with a Z. We're on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We have a free Facebook group for education. We're also on YouTube. So we're putting out tons of information, and come find us in whatever way is most convenient for you, and start making that difference that we know you can make.
And we do have weekly free trainings in our Facebook group. So I'm sure below the video or something, one of us will add a link to that. And like you said, whether you become a client or not is much less relevant to us than that you do something, that you step forward in this very opportune time where non-horse people are influencing the industry, where existing people are questioning their practices and they either quit or they find you, right? Or those, like Leah says, that keep on suffering and therefore actually don't contribute to your kind of a services because been there, it's always been done that way. The method doesn't really allow you to have your foot in the door. So there is a huge opportunity now to continue to contribute to this wave of change.